Okay. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity to present to the audience here at the event. My name is Nitin. I am from Pluribus Networks, and I'll share the relationship with Dell shortly. With me, I have a couple of my colleagues. One from, of course, my ex-colleague and friend Barry from Dell, as well as Vanesh and Ben from Pluribus Networks. They are part of the pre-sales team supporting the APAC region. So before I start the presentation proper, I just wanted to ensure that you are aware of the prizes that you can win uh, during this presentation. So we have several prizes of Sodexo Pass of Philippine 500 pesos that each one of you can win. How do you win them? The first way to win them is we will be asking multiple choice questions after each section. So there'll be a total of 9 questions throughout the presentation that we will be asking. If you answer the question first correctly, correct answer first, then you stand to win this 500 peso voucher. Okay, and of course I will give a cue that your time starts now. Only after that then you can then you answer. Don't answer before I complete the question and I say that your time starts now.
Would you be announcing the winner?
We'll be announcing the winner later. I mean,
All right.
people can of course see themselves whether they answered first or not.
All
But
right,
after
thank you.
30 days, during the next 30 days, we will reach out to the winners and we will communicate.
All right, thank you, sir.
No problem. The second way to win the prize is because if in the first criteria, you are only allowed to answer, you can only win one prize per person, right? But obviously, we want you to encourage and try to answer maximum number of questions. If you get maximum number of right answers, then again, you can get another voucher of 500 pesos, and we can select again three maximum there. And we will, again, in the next 30 days, we'll come back to you on that. And last but not the least, if you ask any good question, then the panelist will basically, if the panelists like those, and the main panelists in this case are Barry and Vanesh, if they decide that okay, this question is good, and then you will also stand to win that 500 peso voucher. So there are multiple ways in which you can interact with us and stand to win this prize. As I mentioned
So
earlier,
Barry and Venice will evaluate the relevance of the question.
correct,
Thank you.
correct, yeah. And of course, there are certain fine print that, of course, if there's a tie, then there'll be prize will be shared and so on and so forth, right? And panelist judgment will be final, right? So with that, let me begin the presentation, right? So as I said, I am from Pluribus Networks, and I'm talking on in a way in partnership with Dell here, primarily because of this reason, right? So Dell has something called as open networking switches that allow Dell as well as their customers to install different operating systems. Pluribus is one of the more prominent operating systems that you as a customer or a partner can use to deliver SDN solution. So with the operating system, essentially the Dell switch becomes an SDN switch. The technology of how it happens, I will share a bit more later as we go along. But before that, allow me to introduce Pluribus briefly. So Pluribus has been operating as a company for more than 10 years already, and we specialize in the software-defined networking space only. Our product is a network operating system with SDN. We have a global footprint and global 24/7 support. We have a number of customers. You see some of the names down in the at the bottom of the slide. Number of telco customers, number of cloud customers, a number of enterprise customers and commercial customers that we support, obviously in partnership with Dell. So what is our vision? Our vision is to create a SDN fabric for the distributed cloud. Why distributed cloud and what we mean by it? We believe that as the customers are adopting more and more 5G, IoT solutions, or edge computing solutions, we believe that the customer network architecture and customer data center architecture is going to move from a central data center to multiple distributed data centers around the region, around the globe, right? And then the SDN fabric should be most suited for that kind of an environment. And we believe that Pluribus is that fabric that will offer the most value as the customers move towards that edge architecture. And that's where our vision stands good. Right? Now, as we talk about SDN, obviously as a customer or a partner, you would expect certain minimum things from SDN. You would expect automation, you would expect granular configurations. Despite having a fabric, you want to have granular configurations. You will expect certain visibility, and you will expect a few other things from the SDN. All of those things are obvious, are there in the Pluribus SDN technology. What I wanted to share is something beyond and something that is different in our SDN technology. And that is what I will spend time on in the next 15 minutes or so. Right? Now, if you look at a typical non-Pluribus SDN fabric, there is a controller, and that controller is connected to the fabric with out-of-band network, and then basically you manage that fabric. How is Pluribus different? Pluribus is different because we don't need a controller. We have a solution called as a controller-less fabric. In this case, it is a single site fabric, but later I'll talk about different aspects as well. Let's first focus on single site. No controller, what is the advantage? Advantage is you don't need a controller license, you don't need a controller hardware, so you save cost, you reduce complexity, no additional components, right? In addition, because typically a controller will require some physical space, no controller means you don't need that space as well. So your solution becomes cleaner. Second, if you don't need a controller, that means you don't need an out-of-band network as well. Again, you reduce cost, you reduce complexity, and you reduce space. So you make the solution, again, much cleaner. Now, if you see in this picture with Pluribus, you will see that we have created some green box, which is our corporate color. So that's the fabric. I still keep these blue boxes, which is the non-Pluribus switch that I showed in the earlier slide. So that is another beauty of Pluribus solution. Pluribus SDN fabric can be created by retaining your existing spine switches. This is very important, right? Because many customers, as they want to embark on an SDN journey, they don't want to throw the infrastructure that they have already purchased. You may have bought one spine switch or a core switch maybe 3 years back, maybe 4 years back. Now you don't need to throw that away, right? In certain competitive solutions, if you have bought a certain model of a switch, and if that is not compatible with the SDN, you will need to throw that, because those SDN architectures will need a leaf and spine topology on the same software, right? We do not need that. You can use a non-Pluribus switch as a spine. That is why in my title, I said SDN for all, and you have a easier journey with Pluribus. So in this journey, you don't need to throw your spine switches. You can work with the current spine. Now, what else, right? So what we say, because we don't need a spine and you can start your journey with just a small fabric. How small can be that fabric? You can start your fabric with just 2 fabric switches, and then you can scale out the fabric slowly as we go along. And you add those additional leaf switches, and all you need to do is have a single command to say join fabric. As they join the fabric, they will inherit all the other fabric configurations on the existing fabric to the new additional switches that join the fabric. So it is as easy as that to scale out the fabric from just 2 switches. Then at some point you may feel that, hey, now I am ready to refresh the spine switches or refresh the core switch. And then of course we do not deny you, we can certainly support Pluribus in the spine as well. So then we can add that spine switch with Pluribus and Dell in your architecture. So with this, Pluribus is the only solution in the market, in the industry, that can scale out from a 2-switch SDN fabric to more than 1,000-switch SDN fabric without any complexity. So how do we do that? Now we have something called as a distributed control plane, that is a shared control plane across all the switches. Each and every switch in the fabric is of the other switches and share the control plane information with each other. Even though I work on a switch number 1, all the switches in fabric will be aware whatever I did on switch number 1, which, because I say that is a fabric view, fabric wide configuration, right? So essentially you can choose any one of the switches and choose that as a controller switch at that point in time, right? It's not a designated switch. All the switches are equal. It's almost like a peer-to-peer network. But at random, you can choose a switch, choose that as a controller, and configure the fabric. So with that, what happens? Because of this distributed control plane, you have a single logical entity to manage, right? And with that, you just to create one NOS components, which is in this case, let's say spine switch. You do a one-time underlay configuration. After that, all the other configuration that you do is at the overlay, all the network configuration. So because you do an overlay, and this overlay is basically powered as a VXLAN overlay or VXLAN tunnels across the fabric, these are automatically created. So essentially with this, you can, many tunnels are created, or a mesh of tunnels is created, and with that you can pass the configuration and data through these tunnels. And hence basically the spine, which is a third-party spine, becomes totally transparent. You just need to create one-time configuration. After that it becomes transparent, right? So that's the power of Pluribus fabric. Then, as I said, how do you configure this fabric without external controller? I already gave some hint that you can use any switch within the fabric because of the distributed controller plane. So then, okay, you choose any switch. So then what is the physical way of configuring it? You can choose to use a CLI command to configure the fabric, or if you don't want to kind of use a CLI and you are a non-networking person, then you can use our graphical user interface known as Onum. That can be used to configure the fabric. In fact, later in the presentation, my colleague Benz will show the demonstration of a light demonstration. Obviously, with the limited time, we cannot do a lot of it, but we will show light demonstration of how Onum can be used to configure certain things in the fabric. And if some of you are really complex users and are comfortable with REST API, then you can use REST API to configure the fabric. While you can use all three of these can be used in a way simultaneously to configure the fabric. The atomic transactions will be passed on to the fabric at a single time on a first come, first serve basis, right? So then basically, as you configure the fabric, as I said earlier, you can configure with those atomic transactions, you can configure a single switch in the fabric. You can configure a high availability pair in the fabric, which we call as a cluster, or you can configure a collection of few switches in the fabric. Let's say you are configuring, you are accessing switch 1, but you want to configure switch 5, 6, 7, 8, or 10, whatever. You can configure those, or you configure the entire fabric. So that is what we mean by one-to-end provisioning. With a single command, you can do any kind of configuration that you want. This particular slide shows that in a brownfield scenario, when you have an existing network, again, you can start with a pair of switches on any one end of the data center, and you can add any more data centers. So any more leaves. These leaf switches or these pairs may not be directly connected to each other. They are connected to the spine, but still, as long as they have IP reachability, they can form a fabric, and then you can use a single interface or single command to configure the fabric. So far we talked about the single site. So what about multi-site? As I said, once you create this underlay network, right, which is a one-time activity, now you can create that underlay network with a spine switch, or you can create with a WAN network. I mean, that WAN network can go through core switch, then a router, and then MPLS WAN or a leaf, doesn't matter, any WAN, right? So again, as long as they have IP reachability, they will form a fabric, right? So with that, essentially, you can create a fabric of pluribus switches across any WAN, across any number of locations. There is no prescribed topology. There is no limit on the number of sites. And as I said, it works with any core, any spine, or any WAN. As long as there is IP reachability, you can create a fabric. We use all standard protocols, including the VXLAN that we use in the fabric is a standard. So there is no lock-in for this fabric, right? And one thing that I did not mention earlier is that we also have integrated telemetry. Our switches can monitor the headers of the TCP traffic that is going through the fabric and automatically create that log. And then, of course, certain items are stored in the switch. But of course, because the switch does not have enough memory, later Benz will demonstrate how you can use Unum functionality of Insight Analytics along with this integrated telemetry functionality. Right? This is the last functionality slide I wanted to share. I know that many customers or partners are moving towards BGP EVPN. Now, we are not conflicting with BGP EVPN. In fact, recently we announced a solution called as a EVPN border gateway that integrates the BGP EVPN fabric, a third-party BGP EVPN fabric with Pluribus by translating the Pluribus objects automatically to the BGP EVPN control plane or MPBGP in a way, right? So again, this is a very detailed topic. Unfortunately, we can't go through in details, but we have very cool use cases of how do you integrate Pluribus with EVPN, or how can you integrate multiple third-party EVPN fabrics using Pluribus gateways as well, right? So there are, it's a very interesting topic. I would highly encourage you, if you are something that is exposed to this, you reach out to us, and then we will certainly provide you more details on this. Today, I didn't go through a lot of functionality because today we don't have time, but suffice to say that we have a telco grade SDN. As I said, as I showed earlier, more than 30% of our current customers today are telco. Now, this is not, unfortunately, not by design, but it just happened that way because of our go-to-market strategy. right? But as I said, we can also cater to enterprise and commercial customers. So the technology is great even for enterprise and mid-market customers. We can, of course, again go deeper dive into functional features, the functions, and capabilities at a later date. One thing that you may ask, hey, this is such a great solution. How does it compare commercially? So we compared with one of the leading SDN solution vendors in the market. We compared a like-to-like fabric cost at a list price, right? At the list price, the competitive solution was 51% more expensive compared to our list price. Now, obviously, they will give discount, they will give discount, we will give discount. Obviously, ultimately, the number may be different depending on the actual discounting, but suffice to say that we have a head start in terms of giving value to our customers, right, and partners. So with that, that's basically the main first section of my presentation. But before I go to the demonstration, I wanted to ask few questions to you, and I will take help from my panelist friends. Monitor the answer, only after that the panelists will pick the right answer, right? So with that, let me go to the first question. The question is, what makes Pluribus SDN different? It is controller SDN, that means external Pluribus controller. It is topology independent. It works with a third-party spine, or all of the above. Your time starts now.
We have the answer, Nitin. I think people started to answer. Yeah, started to answer when you started the first option itself.
Okay, but we have to get after the question is after I say time starts now. Okay.
Right.
Okay, we'll pick the winner as I said later, and we'll communicate. The second question: what is the minimum number of switches required to start the SDN fabric? 32 switches, 8 switches, 2 switches, 4 switches. Your time starts now.
We have the answer, Nitin.
Okay, great. Great to see that all of you, and it's a different person, right?
Yeah, we get a lot of people respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this Pluribus Networks SDN is suitable for telecom service providers, enterprise and governments, mid-market customers, or all of the above. Your time starts now.
Yeah, we have the answer, Nitin.
Okay, great. Great to see a fantastic participation and very swift.
Our participants are so active and competitive. So you don't, you don't immediately they know the what they call that, the letter, the answer. So even without you showing the options.
Okay.
So I've actually typed in our keywords for the technologies Pluribus. So that will be our cue on checking who's the first one to answer correctly, sir.
All right. So I suggest you type a phrase or word to signal the start of the.
Okay, so type Bell Technology.
I did,
yes,
sir, actually.
All right.
Okay. Who will do that? Vanesh will do that, or somebody else will do that?
I did that actually.
Oh, you did that. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, just after your go signal.
Awesome.
So
Thanks
we can
a lot.
verify who's the one who answered correctly.
Sure. So with that, let me pass to Ben for a short demonstration. Over to you, Ben. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, thank you, Nitin. Okay, let me share my screen. Before that, let me introduce myself again. My name is Thanagrit, or you can call me Benz. Let me share. I cannot start sharing my screen.
Okay, Bong.
Do I need to stop? Okay, let me stop.
Okay.
Can you try there?
Okay. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me. All right. Okay, thank you, Nitin, again. So this is how Unums looks like. our Unum is a user interface to help you manage the SDN fabric and also to help you analyze the traffic that's passing through our Unum. If you take a look at the topology here, well, actually our Unum has ability to manage multiple fabric. As you can see on the left hand side here, we have 3 fabrics here that Unum manage right now, but let's focus on the leaves fabric first. After I click on the leaf fabric here, you will see the topology of the fabric right now. And the green icons are the switches in our fabric. And you will also see some of the information, I mean, roughly information of those switches in the bottom pane. You will see like management IP of the switch, or even for the CPU or memory utilization right now, or even for the switch status right now. We can see roughly information here, and you can provide and see other information by clicking on other tabs as well. You may wonder how Unum actually manage the switches in the fabric, right? Does Unum have to access all the switches and manage? If you notice one thing here, you will see the blue button here, which is a the meaning is the EBC leaf 1 here is the seed switch for Unum to get the information or to manage the fabric. So meaning that you don't need to let Unum to access to all of the switches. You just let Unum to access to just one of the switch in our fabric. And that switch will be a seed switch for Unum to collect information and manage the fabric. Okay. And the next part is how Unum manage the SDN fabric. I just want to show you a simple way to manage the fabric. Let me share my. So if you record the topology from the Unum part, well, actually this is our lab here. We have 2 data centers and separated by the WAN fabric, the WAN network here. So it's meaning that we have 2 data centers separated in a different location, but we can manage all the switch in the same fabric. So I'm going to create a VLAN. Let me explain a little bit. So the VLAN creation, we just create an object called VLAN in our Unum. And after that, that VLAN will be propagated to all the switch. So meaning that you don't have to access to all the switches and create that VLAN one by one. You just create through the Unum, and then Unum will help to manage the VLAN. Okay, let me show you here, show to manager. Oh, but before that, well, actually Unum can help you to do the zero touch provisioning. I mean, from the day 0, you can also use Unum to help install our OS and build up our fabric as well. But I will not show at this part because it will take some time. And okay, let's go to the layer 2 and manage VLAN. Okay, wait a second. Okay, I just want to show you how to create a simple VLAN. Let me check. Okay, there is no VLAN 224 right now. Okay, let's create. You can pick either any switch from the fabric to start the CLI. I mean, to start the configuration. So ID 224, it's called fabric, and then port none. You can also have additional fields to you. We also provide the additional field to you. In case you want to extend the VLAN to use the overlay function, you just give the, for example, the VXLAN number for this VLAN, and then we do the auto VXLAN. Okay, save it. Okay, let's see. It's fine. Okay, now the VLAN 224 is already created to all of the switches in our fabric. Okay, The next part is if you we have ability to integrate with the vCenter as well, meaning that if you already integrate our Pluribus fabric to the vCenter, the VLAN that you create on your vCenter or the port group, it will be propagated or it will be provisioned to our fabric automatically. So if, let me check first. Okay, there is no VLAN 110 here. Okay, so let me try to map the, in order for you to see the picture, let me explain in the better way. Okay, so when you do the VLAN provisioning, you just need to integrate with the vCenter first, and then you just create a port group in the vCenter, and after that you assign that port group to any VM that you want to use, and after that the port group VLAN will be automatically provided in our fabric. So let me, well, actually I already created the port group, and I just need to change the port group to test port group 110. Okay. Okay, this step will take some time for VLAN to be provisioned on our fabric. So I will go through another part first. Okay, the visualization after we create the VLAN 110 will be provisioned for you on our fabric. Okay, so the next part that I want to show is if you want to migrate your VM host from data center 2 to data center 1, so it can be migrated easily using our SDN fabric. So if you want to migrate to host number 3, then there will be no any traffic loss during your migrate. Let's take a look. So I'm at host A right now. I'm trying to ping to host B. Okay. Now let's try to migrate to, okay, let's migrate to host 3. Host 3, which is on the data center 1. Okay. Okay, okay. You can still see the ping still running. Okay, it's complete. And if I Control C, you will see only a few packets lost here. Just okay. So let's go back to our Unum. I think the VLAN 110 is already there. Let me refresh. Refresh first. I don't see my mouse cursor again. Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't see. Sorry. There is no mouse pointer from my side. Let me. Wait a second. Should be there. Okay. Manage VLAN. Okay. Now should be there. Okay. Now the VLAN 110 is already there in our fabric. And if you notice here, the VLAN that has been provisioned by the vCenter here, the description will be created automatically that this is the vCenter VLAN. Okay. And the next part. Okay. The next part is I just want to show you how our Unum to help you to do the network troubleshooting and do the policy enforcement. The first part is the Unum Insight Analytics. The Unum Insight Analytics help you to capture every TCP flow that coming through our Adaptive Cloud Fabric. Okay, let me go back to J30.
So this Insight Analytic is additional capability other than the fabric management.
Correct. Okay. So now, well, actually the Insight Analytics, you can see all the connection that passing through our fabric, right? And we kind of group type of the connection for you to help to analyze. We group it by the service, by the connection, the client's connection, server connections, and also the domain as well. So a lot of fields that will help you to analyze your traffic. So if you want to see more details, we also provide it at the bottom of the page as well. And you can export it too. If you want to manipulate it later. Okay. Again, the mouse is missing. Okay. So again, if we integrate it with the vCenter, we can show you the connection details of the vCenter as well. As you can see here, this is the VM name in our vCenter showing here. You can see all the information that passing through, and with the VM name and specific host or specific VM name. Okay, that's all. So, okay, the next thing is the last example that I just want to show you here is, I just want to show you if there is something like port scanning happen to your server, and how Unum to do the network troubleshooting, and how Unum to help handle that kind of situation. So let me go back to my slide. So as you know, Unum knows the information, and Unum keeps monitoring all the information in the fabric through the state switch here. And if there is something happening, for example, port scanning here happening, and we analyze this kind of situation using Unum IA, and after that we drop that traffic from the Unum. Okay, so and there. So let me use this front fabric. Okay, now if you take a look there, oh, there is an unauthorized service coming through. So I just click on that service, and it will filter only for the service. And you will see that, oh, this is the client. This is IP address of that client that do the port scanning or do the unauthorized service to our network. So I just need to create one policy by going to security, monitoring, manage vFlow. Okay, so I already create that, but let me edit it first. The way to create is very easy. How? Just do the action drop with the specific source IP. Then that's it. Let me enable this. Okay. Okay. So let me start port scanning again. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, all the traffic has been filtered. Okay, if you get back to the Unum and go to the analytic part and see the policy stats. And you can see that our policy block the traffic here, is drop the traffic from that respective source IP. Okay, I think that's all from my side. Let me hand over to Nitin. Thank you so much for my time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks. Let me share my screen back. You can see my screen, right? Quiz.
Yes, sir.
Great. So based on what Ben shared, let me ask some questions. So what? Oh, sorry.
They should answer using the chat window or Q&A, because I have noticed that some of our attendees, they type their
window.
answer on the Q&A. The
Chat window, right?
Right. Yes, please.
They
Thank
must
you.
answer on the chat box, sir,
All right, thank you.
Okay.
after my cue.
So now the question, the first question in the quiz. By the way, let me just remind that if you don't get it first, you still answer, so that we know how many are answering correctly. Okay. Unum is a SDN controller. Unum is a graphical user interface, or it is an agent on a switch, or none of the above. Your time starts now. Do we have any right answers, Vanesh?
Yeah, Nitin, yeah, there are a lot of answers. Yeah, we have the answer.
Okay, good. Okay, the next question is, what are the components of Unum? Now, if you have been observing closely, you would have seen it. This is a little bit of a tricky question. You see whether you can answer it. Unum has Fabric Manager. It has Insight Analytics. It has Reports and Alerts, or does it have all of the above?
We have the answer, Nitin.
Okay. Last question in this section. Unum Insight Analytics can be used for network troubleshooting, security and compliance, network performance analysis, all of the above.
Yeah, we have the answer, Nitin.
Okay, great. Thanks for the participation. So I have last few minutes. So let me just share some examples of use cases and some customer examples that are in using Pluribus in real life. Right, as I mentioned, we have been there for 5 years, and there are many customers, including a customer in Philippines. They have been using for 5 years almost. Right. So we have data center use cases, and we have non-data center use cases. In data center, we have a leaf and spine fabric, which is in the blue center, which is a traditional data center use case. Of course, on the left-hand side, if you see, it's an edge interconnect. So you may not have the DC fabric with Pluribus. All you need is the edge with Pluribus, and you will basically stitch all the data center edges together. Or alternatively, if you have edge as well as the fabric together, then basically you have the third blue use case, which is the multi-site data center unification use case. Right, so those are the data center use cases. In the non-data center use cases, we have something called as a Metro Ethernet cloud service use case, which can also be kind of called as a virtual distributed chassis for a campus network. Right, so I'll share example of that later. Plus, there are two other use cases, which is network packet broker and layer 1 cross connect. These are specialized use cases. We will not cover any example of that today. But again, if that sounds interesting, reach out to us offline or Dell offline. Right. So the first customer example I wanted to share is from one of the European governments. So they started off with a single data center solution. So that time they wanted to have a fabric of 64 switches, and they had an RFP where they evaluated all the major leading solution vendors. And after a detailed technical evaluation, commercial evaluation, they selected Pluribus along with Dell as the SDN of choice. So it started with single data center, but as you see in the diagram, recently they again came back and they expanded the footprint to a second data center of another 64 switches fabric. So now we are creating a fabric for them across 2 data centers comprising 128 switches. The customer is very happy, and then we expect that, and based on the plans that they see that they have, the customer will expand to more than 200 switches in the next 6 to 12 months uh, going forward, right? So that is one use case. Now, obviously, that is a customer which has a very large footprint, about 120 to 200 switches in a fabric. As I said earlier, we are not only for the big customers. We also can provide solution for smaller footprints and smaller customers, right? So here is a customer that used our solution as a top of rack switch for Nutanix. And they wanted to have active standby configuration. But after they started talking to us, they realized that even if they are using just Pluribus just as a top of rack switch for Nutanix cluster along with the Cisco, which is a third party spine switch that they had at that point in time, they could still create a single fabric across the 2 data centers, right? And with that, they were able to increase the availability of the cluster. So they changed from the design from active standby to active. So they were able to increase the resiliency of the infrastructure as well as availability of the infrastructure. In addition, the customer also bought the insight analytics that my colleague Benz demonstrated earlier. So with that, they have a better hold on the network traffic that is going through, and hence they have better troubleshooting capability as well. The next customer I want to show is a customer that is using us as a virtual chassis for a campus. So in this case, they wanted their campus wireless guest users to follow certain security policy in the firewall, but they did not want to deploy the firewall at every building that this customer had. So what they did is they deployed a Pluribus as an aggregation switch for each of the buildings, and they had Pluribus in their main data center. So they created a virtual fabric or a virtual chassis, and we created a security policy or a network policy similar to what Ben demonstrated with vFlow, right? So they created a policy that this particular traffic should always go to the central firewall, and the central firewall will decide. So we have, in fact, this similar deployment also with another large Indian, global Indian IT service provider. Because of pandemic, they are opening several offices, and they want to, while they open these several offices, they do not want to compromise on the security policy. So they are using almost similar architecture where they have Pluribus as an aggregation switch or a WAN switch in a way, and that WAN switch basically ensures that the security policy is enforced on the traffic that is going in and out of that branch, right? The next example is again bit more complex customer, a cloud service provider customer across 4 different data centers, creating a single unified fabric, having multiple different hypervisor environments.
Sir, sorry to push you back. Is there a way for you to wrap up the presentation?
Yes,
we actually run out of time.
Sure, we're wrapping at 2 minutes.
All right, thank you.
Just one or two slides and one quiz. So yeah, multi-hypervisor, and then of course there are some other cooler things here we can again discuss offline. This is an example of interconnect fabric or Metro Ethernet fabric, where you can provide different E-line, E-LAN, or point-to-point, or point-to-multipoint, or multi-point services, or also E-tree kind of services where you have again multiple traffic coming from multiple sources, but going to a same destination for policy or visibility filtering, right? So this is again a complex environment that we can do, which is many different metro services providers are using this particular architecture with us. So that basically ends the presentation. To conclude, maybe just to have short questions for you to answer. First question is, Pluribus SDN can be used for following use cases: data center fabric, multi-site fabric, can be campus or can be data centers or metro, or can be data center interconnect fabric, or all of the above. Do you answer? Manesh? Barry?
Yeah,
We
we
have
have
the
answered
answer.
it. We have answered it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not watching the chat window, so help me.
We have a lot of keyboard warriors.
Okay. Second question, Pluribus, excuse me, Pluribus SDN can be used along with the hyperconverged infrastructure, for example, Nutanix, as a fabric for scale out for their pods, HCI pods, single fabric across a DC and DR, network analytics or network insight for their HCI infrastructure, or all of the above.
We have answered that.
Okay, next question. So Pluribus Networks SDN can be used in campus network as a distributed virtual chassis for network telemetry and monitoring, as a WAN switch, or all of the above.
Yeah, we have answered it.
Okay, great. Thanks then. Thanks for your time, and sorry for running a couple of minutes late. Thanks again for the great interaction. Unfortunately, I heard from the team that you had pretty good responses. So on this, I have given the email addresses of all three of us from Pluribus Networks. Feel free to reach out to us, and of course, you can reach out to the VST ECS team, and they know how to reach us. Or of course, you can reach out to the Dell team. They know how to reach us, right? With that, thanks a lot. You all have a great day, and talk to you soon. Thank you.